The wedding everyone envied Emily Grace Carter was 27 when she married Brandon James Harrington IV in a ceremony that made the cover of Vogue Weddings. 600 guests, a 22-piece orchestra flown in from Vienna, a $400,000 Vera Wang gown embroidered with real diamonds, a 7-tier cake baked by the same pastry chef who made the royal wedding cake in London. The Harrington estate in Beverly Hills sprawled over 12 acres. The main house had 32 rooms, a ballroom, an indoor pool, and a garage that looked like a Lamborghini showroom. Victoria Harrington, Brandon's mother, the ice-cold queen of American luxury textiles, stood at the entrance greeting senators, movie stars, and European princes as if she had personally invented wealth. She hugged Emily in front of the photographers and whispered through perfectly veneered teeth, "Smile, darling. Today you become a Harrington. Try not to embarrass us." Emily laughed it off that day. She was in love. She was sure love would fix everything. It didn't. The slow poison months 1-6 week 1. Victoria took Emily's wedding jewelry for safekeeping and never returned it. Week 3, Emily was told the staff would no longer take orders from her, only from Madame Victoria. Month 2, Emily discovered her personal credit cards had been canceled. Victoria handed her a black Amex with a reasonable limit of $5,000 a month. For someone of your background. Month 4, Victoria began weighing Emily's food at dinner. We can't have the Harrington brand associated with anything less than perfection. Month 5, Brandon started coming home at 3 a.m., smelling of perfume that definitely was Emily's. When she asked, he laughed. "Networking, babe, you wouldn't understand." Emily still tried. She learned which fork Victoria liked for fish. She memorized the names of all 400 society members. She smiled until her cheeks hurt, but every night she cried herself to sleep in a guest wing because Victoria had decided the master bedroom needed redecorating for 6 months. The breaking point, months 7-18. By month 10, Emily was a ghost in her own marriage. Victoria began openly interviewing suitable replacements at charity galas, introducing 25-year-old models as my future daughter-in-law, perhaps. Brandon stopped pretending. He brought a girl named Chloe Vanderbilt, heiress, influencer, 26, to the house for business meetings that lasted until dawn. Emily found used lingerie that wasn't hers in the laundry. She confronted Brandon in the library one night. Brandon sighed like she was a child throwing a tantrum. "Mom says you're becoming paranoid. Maybe you need therapy or a hobby." Victoria walked in at that exact moment, holding a glass of 1945 Chateau d'Yquem. "Actually, Brandon, I have a better idea," she said sweetly. "Why don't we set Emily free? She clearly isn't happy here." That was the first time the word divorce was spoken out loud. The $100,000 insult. 3 weeks later, on a rainy Thursday evening, Victoria summoned Emily to the Grand Salon. 10 neat stacks of cash sat on the antique table. $100,000. Victoria's lawyer, Mr. Reginald Pierce, stood beside her holding a thick folder. Brandon lounged on the sofa, scrolling through his phone, not even looking up. Victoria spoke like she was reading from a script she had rehearsed 1,000 times. "Emily, dear, we've all decided this isn't working. Here is $100,000, more than generous. You will sign these divorce papers, move out by tomorrow morning, and never speak of the Harrington name again. If you fight us, we will make sure the world knows you were a gold-digging nobody who tried to destroy a legacy family. Your choice." Emily stared at the money, then at Brandon, who still wouldn't meet her eyes. Something inside her snapped, but her face stayed perfectly calm. She picked up the pen. She signed. Victoria's smile was triumphant. Emily picked up the 10 bundles, put them neatly into her old college tote bag, and said the only sentence she would ever say to them again in that house. "Thank you for showing me exactly what I'm worth to you." She walked upstairs, packed one suitcase, and left before midnight. The 10 silent days the world thought Emily Carter had vanished. Paparazzi couldn't find her. Victoria spread stories that Emily had run off with a tennis instructor. In reality, Emily rented a tiny 1-bedroom loft in downtown LA under her maiden name. She bought a $30 burner phone. She wore hoodies and no makeup. She disappeared, and she waited. Because her father, Robert Carter, who had passed away quietly 8 months earlier, had left her one final gift. A gift no one in the Harrington family knew existed. The secret empire Robert Carter had been a self-made private equity legend. He never flaunted his wealth. He drove a 10-year-old Toyota. He ate at diners. But in the 18 months before his death, he had quietly purchased 51% of Harrington Luxury Textiles through 12 layered holding companies registered in Delaware, the Caymans, and Singapore. Every single share was in Emily's name only. The Harringtons had been so busy looking down on the poor girl from Orange County that they never checked who had been buying their stock during their last private placement round. They had sold control of their own empire to the woman they just paid $100,000 to disappear. Day 10. The message at 9:03 a.m. on the 10th day, Victoria Harrington's phone buzzed. A single text from a blocked number. Good morning, Victoria. Attached. SEC Form 4 and new share registry. Harrington Luxury Textiles is now 51% owned by Emily Grace Carter. Have a wonderful day. Your new boss. Victoria opened the PDF and screamed so loudly that the housekeeper dropped a $12,000 vase. Brandon ran in. Mom, what happened? Victoria couldn't speak. She just pointed at the screen. Brandon read it. His face went white. Within 30 minutes, every board member had received the same document. By noon, the factory gates in North Carolina had new signs. Property of Carter Luck's trespassers will be prosecuted. The private jet was grounded in Teterboro with new tail numbers being painted. EC1. Victoria's personal bank accounts, fed by company dividends, were frozen pending shareholder review. The midnight begging 2:17 a.m. doorbell camera footage later went viral, though Emily never released it. Victoria Harrington, in a silk robe and slippers soaked from the rain. Brandon behind her looking 10 years older. Even Chloe Vanderbilt was there, mascara running. Victoria was on her knees in the hallway of Emily's modest loft building. Emily, please open the door. We'll do anything. The house is yours, the cars, everything. Emily opened the door just a crack. Victoria tried to grab her ankle. I'm begging you, my father built that company, don't take it. Emily looked down with the calmest smile the world had ever seen. Victoria, you taught me a valuable lesson. Everything has a price. You valued me at $100,000. She reached into her tote bag, pulled out the exact 10 bundles they had given her, and let them fall one by one onto the wet floor. Keep the change. She closed the door. Epilogue 1 year later, Carter Luck's is now valued at $4.2 billion. Emily sits on the Forbes 30 Under 30 cover wearing a simple white shirt and the same calm smile. Victoria and Brandon live in a 2-bedroom condo in Pasadena, driving a leased Honda. Every month, like clockwork, Victoria receives a bank transfer of exactly $8,333.33, Emily's generous monthly allowance to her ex-mother-in-law. The memo line always reads the same: severance pay, 18 months of services rendered. And somewhere in Malibu, on a cliff overlooking the Pacific, Emily raises a glass of 1945 Chateau d'Yquem, the last bottle from Victoria's private cellar, and whispers to the ocean, never again.